Now we're going to invite Huishan to come and join me. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
So Huishan and I have known one another quite a few years. I met you first when you were at St. Martin's doing your BA.
Yes.
So when was that? Do you remember?
I remember it was like a preview before the press show. So we've been told there's somebody from Vogue who's fabulous, want to come to see the student before the show. So that's as far as I know you. And then obviously that's where we met, and then keep the relationship going after this as well. Yeah.
And what year was that?
It's 2010.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your brand is now sort of 5-6
Yeah,
years old?
so I graduated and then I waited kind of a year almost like to launch the brand. So yeah, so it's like 4 years total to 5. Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Okay, so take us back to the beginning. Why did you want to get into fashion? Sort of what's your first fashion memory?
The first fashion memory is I remember like when I was in China, when I was like, like a teenager, like I always like art and these kind of things, always like fascinated with craftsmanship and then like drawing. So by the time you kind of because in China it's not really people thinking that's not a proper job. So you never had a chance to really learn it, but you always want to know more about it. And then all of a sudden there's like a very random like magazine shop open that, which is like almost like 14 years ago in China, which at the time like we don't there's no Gucci or Prada or Louis Vuitton. There's like literally nothing. So that's the only way that you kind of thinking, oh, that's outside the world. So I'm being such a big fan of that magazine shop next to my high school. So that's how I like know fashion. There's knowing such a thing about fashion, and I have urge of want to learning it as well. Yeah.
And were there any sort of designers sort of from a young age that stood out and that sort of influenced you and made you think, I want to get into fashion?
I mean, obviously, like.
Is that a hard question to answer?
No, it's literally Galliano and McQueen. That's really the influence that's attract me actually come to London as well.
Yeah.
To really follow the path and then wondering what this magical city can offer to somebody who actually have passion. Yeah.
And of course, because St. Martin's is it's renowned for its fashion and its fashion designers. So was that somewhere like how did you come to find out about that, and why did you want to go there?
Obviously, I kind of get all the knowledge from that magazine shop next to my high school. And so it's like you kind of, first of all, I cannot remember English names at the time because I don't really speak English name. But I just feel like you want to know how do you pronounce John Galliano and, Alexander McQueen. But you kind of learn it, you try very hard to remember it, but you always forgot. It's like now when people pronounce Huishan Zhang, it's like at that time, like you kind of just wondering how, how fascinating, to actually one day to go somewhere to study. And so it's like, it's kind of really trying to find your way to get hands on, this kind of information and to find a way to actually, to learn about them. Yeah.
And how did you find your time there? Because I think, obviously, it is an incredible place, but people sort of have mixed feelings about it. It's sort of a sink or swim kind of place. So did you enjoy being there?
I definitely enjoyed it. I really, that's actually the whole reason I came to London, because I studied in New Zealand actually and lived there for 7 years. And I graduated and then kind of found a job and then feel happy with myself. And then all of a sudden my father said he want to encourage me to study more. I said, okay, if I want to study, the only place I want to be is Central St. Martin. At the time, it's a joke because, you don't even know how to get in and you don't even know the information because that was like 12 years ago. That time you're still using dial-up internet. So it's like you And my father said to me, he said, okay, go for it if that's what you want. I said, are you sure? You know, and he said, okay, you know, if you can find how to get there, then you should try. So then, you know, literally I went to, I don't even have a computer at the time.
Yeah.
I went to the internet shop and then literally searched how to get to Central St. Martin. Thank God they have a website. So, you know, that's how I started. I found their number. At the time, there's not even like internet, you know, like international phone call card like what we have now, you know, very handy. So I kind of found a friend who has an international line in New Zealand. So I died from New Zealand to, you know, to London, asked how can I get in, you know, I just like literally bought a ticket, come here straight away.
That's determination, you know.
Yeah.
That's impressive stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing your BA collection, obviously in the preview, and being wowed by it. It was totally beautiful. Tell me about the sort of inspiration behind that and kind of your aesthetic.
So at all time, actually, basically, I follow my path to St. Martin. Actually, at the time, because I graduated already, I always have a dream about building something associated with China. Because, you know, it's like ever since I live in China, I feel more connected to it. Because, you know, at the time, you feel like lots of Chinese symbol is too. You know, when you are in China, you see it every day, but you don't really feel it's connected to you. But once you apart from China, like living abroad, you feel like sometimes you miss it a lot. Especially, it's fascinating about my own culture. And then basically, I always want to do something associated with this because I just feel like there's lots of things touches me, you know, when I was when I was young and then really feel like, you know, something really connected, but I want to be able to use them in fashion as a form of art. So, you know, and I came to St. Martin, actually already have this idea, I want to have my own brand. So that whole time, actually, I planned this, you know, since the day one I was in St. Martin, really trying to learn different perspective. So, you know, in St. Martin, it's like, you know, the best part of St. Martin is really they let you run free. So that's literally what you can take from this. Also, it's the best gift from school to teach you to learn everything by yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah.
So what was the kind of the journey and the trajectory from once you graduated to actually setting up your own label? Like, how long did that take, and was it as easy as you thought it was going to be, or was it a nightmare, or?
It's literally, you know, like hard. You know, it's very hard. You know, first of all, as a foreigner, you know, you don't really know much people here. Also, you don't really know much people from fashion apart from your teacher and your classmate. So to set up a fashion business is very difficult at the time. You know, you kind of has to always kind of convince yourself even to actually keep doing it. But, you know, I think I'm very lucky, you know, among the way that, you know, I kind of really met lots of people that really love and support me. And then first of all, I met you. And then, you know, we keep the relationship, you know, from that moment. It's incredible because I just found London offered me a lot because, you know, the people here is really speak to you because, you know, you have something that's special, so which is very important to offer to a young starter like me. Yeah.
And so when did you first start showing at London Fashion Week?
I started I did showroom before I started to show at London Fashion Week. I did like showroom for 2 seasons, and then I was very lucky. I met Sarah Mora. Obviously, at the time she met me, and then she really liked my work. I literally is one of my friends wearing one of my dress that she went to a BFC party. I actually spot that dress and then asked her who is the designer. So that's how I met her as well. It was incredible opportunity. And then she introduced me to BFC, and then I entered the New Gen program. Yeah. So literally did all the London designers, you know, followed all the London designers' paths as well. Like, was very lucky to be a part of it. And then that's how did I start to develop my business here, and then really, you know, kind of learn and do it at the same time as well.
What was it like having your first sort of London Fashion Week presentation or show? Like, because surely that's something sort of all young designers aspire to doing. So that must have been really quite a fashion moment for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's London always offer to people. It's like, always have the diversity, like always, encourage you to actually think what you can do to make it different. So I think that's really important. Yeah.
And so how do you go about putting together a collection?
I literally, I still using the, like the every designer have different way, but for me, because of the time now, we have to, managing the team. Also, there's lots of logistic. I think the beauty of it is like you have to always get inspired. It's like, because it's not really, it's very luxury now for for me to actually to find a proper time to actually do it. But what I feel is like, actually, in fact, I like the feeling now because you get inspired by your kind of design. Radar is always very sensitive, so you can get inspired everywhere you go, and then think things together and putting things together very quickly. I think it's quite important. Yeah.
Has it got easier as time has gone on, or not? Because as your business has grown, you found yourself sort of pulled here, there, and everywhere.
It's literally like up and down. It's like. It's once you down something, you think you gotta have some time, but then it's something quickly happen again. You have to really, challenge yourself again. So you never kind of find there's a time is flat. It's always like this. So you kind of, as a designer, you just have to learn to cope with that, because it's happening very fast.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, So, but you have to make sure your head is always clear and believe the direction and continue develop.
And how many collections a year are you producing? Because obviously we have autumn, winter, and spring, summer, and then you also get pre and resort collections. Is that something that you do as well?
Yeah, at the moment, actually, we're launching 4 collections now. So it's like we have the full collection for a year. So we have resort and main, and then pre-collection and the main collection. So it's literally creating a much. It's like 2 times bigger than what we used to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, take lots of time to actually.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, that's why you have to inspire all the time.
And then obviously you've had lots of lovely ladies wearing your designs. So name drop some.
Name drops. So yeah, I was very lucky and fortunate to dress lots of, a dream like ambassadors in the world for the brand of Huishan Zhang. And then we dressed Karen Knightley, Helen Mirren, Gwyneth Paltrow, and most recently we also dressed Samantha Cameron when the Chinese Chinese chairman came to visit London. So it was incredible and honored as well to be a part of it. And then really, through them, I say, the image of Huishan Zhang, is always about elegant, intellectual woman, and who's very sophisticated and well-traveled as well. Yeah.
And it must be amazing to see your designs on them.
Yeah, it's incredible, moment because, you kind of see the image through them, like, because they all have different, personalities. But, in a way that you see, a garment to be worn, also you can see is your muse or customer actually show their personality through your clothes, which is a very magical moment.
And obviously it must be as well when you just sort of see, this sounds wrong, but just like a normal woman, because obviously someone's chosen to buy the brand. That must be a real sense of achievement as well.
Yeah, I mean, we do, store events. We do, with different shops. And every time when I meet my customer, that's really something I'm really happy. Also, I think it's really that moment is like the magic relationship happening because it's not only those like Samantha or Karen. It's also is everyone that who actually like art and appreciate craftsmanship, also appreciate the garment at the same time. So it's really important moment for me. Yeah.
And what about other highlights in your career so far? Because obviously that would be one of them, but what other moments stand out? Because I think you've had some pretty impressive ones.
So yeah, it's like every season you kind of creating a new collection, and then you have lots of things like new things to happen to the brand. And then obviously, we recently launched our collection at Bergdorf Goldman.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is incredible. That is one of the best store to me in New York. Like I really appreciate the support, and also be able to actually go to New York to see my customer there at the same time, which is amazing. And then kind of every season we open new shops, worldwide, and then to really meet different customer around the world and learn their lifestyle and talk to them is really important. Yeah.
And sort of casting your mind way back when you were applying for Central St. Martin's, did you think, this was all going to happen?
Kind of, it had that dream, but don't know how to get there, but you kind of have a big dream. So, you just feel you have to believe it's going to happen. Yeah.
Would that be your kind of advice to any aspiring designers then?
Yeah. Oh. No, I think it's really dream, always believe what you believe, like you're always gonna find a way to do something that you want. So I think that's very important. Just never give up. Yeah.
And what, I guess that's, lessons you've kind of learned. What other sort of poignant lessons have you learned? You obviously did some time working at Dior while you were at uni as well. So what did you learn there?
It's an incredible, movement, also experience, because, I remember when I was in the third year, and then all of a sudden my tutor told us there's somebody from Dior gonna come over to set up project. So we're all very excited. Always is Dior, and then the most surprise is we literally Dolphin Arnault came in to personally brief the project to us, and also literally through the whole way we present to her as well at the end. So it's incredible, opportunity. Literally, you met somebody who's very important to the fashion world, and also has the passion to support young designers at this student stage, to actually talk to them and then see their project. It's incredible experience. So I was very lucky to actually, as a winner to be part of this program. So I've been, honored to actually go to Dior. Actually had my year, internship there. It's incredible experience.
Yeah. You look back on it very fondly. What is there still that you want to achieve? Big question. You're doing pretty well, I think, so far.
Every season you have a goal, and then you're trying to achieve it. But in the bigger picture, I always hope, I hope my big dream gonna become true one day. It's not there yet, but I think one day it's gonna be. So really to creating Huishan Zhang as a international luxury brand. So it's really, have a, international audience to actually appreciate and support us as well. Yeah.
And sort of in terms of building up that the brand and the following, the relationships with the customers, how important is sort of social media and the kind of more, technological side of fashion and life? Is social media very important for you?
Yeah, I mean, social media is very new. At the beginning, I'm really anti this, because I think now I realize it's just because I don't know how to use it. That's why I just okay. But now it's kind of getting more interesting, because you get comments. I mean, now we actually attract people from the social media, ask where they can buy the dress. It's very interesting. It's new way of connecting with your, direct connecting to your customer, which is fascinating, how much the social media can do for a young starter brand.
Yeah.
And also because the world is so big, that's exactly what I believe at the beginning. Because, it's you have people support you, but you always have people doubt you. But depending what you want to listen, then, which opinion gonna encourage you getting through and then keep continue. So I think in a way that's, with social media that you can get very direct connection with people who really appreciate, because otherwise they won't follow you.
Yeah.
So, kind of really saying, saying you do something good, which is very encouraging. Yeah.
And I think social media has been part of the reason, I don't know if everyone knows, but there's been a bit of a shift in the sort of fashion system and cycle, and there's kind of a see now, buy now mentality that's taking over with the shows. And like social media's been, I think, quite key in that. But what do you think about that kind of shift? Is that something you plan to adopt or not so much?
No, I think that's a very new concept, and obviously I cannot say I hate it now, because I kind of need to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
It's not because it's a trend. It's just because it's I think it's a wonderful tool to actually get in touch with your customer. I think for us, the product and the customer is always the most important. And otherwise, I don't think, without my customer support, I don't think I can even sit here today. So that's why I think it's a wonderful tool for us to actually get to know them, to really know, why I chat all the time with my Instagram followers, because I just want to know what they think. So I think that's important. And then obviously with us, we have, we are small, and we can turn things very fast than some big brand. So, we're always trying to do something new, obviously, because we are in fashion. But, be a small brand always give us a lot of advantages as well to really try things differently. And then, if it's work, it's work. If it's not, we learn from it.
Yeah. And then obviously we just saw, I'm going to ask you guys some questions in a minute, but the spring-summer collection there, I just wondered if you could quickly talk us through how like a sort of show or presentation happens. So like, is it, do you sleep the night before? Is it terrifying?
So
is it all worth it?
Another thing is, it's always kind of question everybody asks me, like, are you really, really excited? I think, I do very, very excited when you see the model actually, walking down, on your presentation. But the thing is, we see this garment from beginning until the end, like 6 months, in a row.
Sick of it. No.
But, it's the most important is like, after this, you still think, oh my God, that's nice. So I think it's quite rewarding to know that you did something right. And so I think it's always, I have my own atelier in China, so that's where I'm really proud of to actually, made everything in my hometown at home. So I think it's, because of the nature of we have everything sampled and manufactured there in China, so we have to be very organized, as a team, because otherwise we cannot never get it done. So, very lucky that we always managed to actually get everything done a week before the fashion week started.
Very
so
good.
Which is the key of us to actually make sure everything is prepared and we are, very calm when this come to London Fashion Week. We want to be able to show the best side of us.
And also, I guess you can enjoy it and be proud of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great, thanks so much.
You.
I've talked a bit too much, so we want to hear more from Huishan. So if anyone has any questions, please put up your hand, and there are people with microphones. Boy over there.
Hello. You've dressed some clearly impressive people, very impressive roster. Is there anyone else you would like to dress? Is there a woman who you really would like to see wearing your clothes?
Oh, well, I think...
Or man.
I think, I don't think particularly there's a name there, to say.
Diplomatic.
But, I always appreciate, women who has interesting life and journey. Obviously, there's lots of women have, different story. I think, for me, I always thinking I want my garment really want to belong to that woman. So I think, for this case, every woman who actually, have this kind of, different, different point of view, and the quality always gonna fit in the Huishan Zhang clothes. Yeah.
So, what will you now be doing now that you've just shown your autumn-winter collection, which I need to flag as different to the one you saw? Fashion works in crazy seasons. So what's next? What's the next? What takes you through the next 6 months of you?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna head into Paris next week for our sales campaign. We're gonna stay there for a week. So during that week, my team gonna be in charge of the sales. I will start in my inspirational, trip, like literally collecting different inspiration. I mean, like Paris is one of the places that you can really get inspired.
Yeah.
And after this, we gonna literally have like plan already few shop event, you know, happening either in New York or China. So we're gonna literally, you know, the team gonna split, you know, to different direction to actually promote the brand, meet the customer. And then soon we're gonna launch our resort collection in June. So it's very fast.
Comes around real quick.
Yeah.
So what's the best thing and the worst thing about being a designer?
Well, the best thing is you know, if you like this job, you live
helps.
your dream.
Yeah.
The worst thing is it's gonna be a nightmare if you don't like it.
And I guess you get to travel quite a lot there as well.
Yeah, I get to travel a lot. I'm almost like now, like last time I did my calculation, I almost like 100, almost like 200 days I'm outside London now. Yeah, so it's quite a lot amount of traveling because now because the team is expanding, also our distribution is expanding. We have shops in Middle East, you know, in Europe, in America, in China, in Japan. So I literally has to look after all of them. But it's incredible because, you know, I can see all my, you know, customers around it. You know, to me, it's like best excuse to go travel. So.
Absolutely. Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But that's really incredible because, yeah, again, when I think back to kind of like what's happened in those sort of like, you know, 5 years, it's sort of an incredible journey. And,
It's
you know,
incredible. Yeah.
you've worked very hard and done very well.
Thank
So
you.
well done to Huishan. Okay, thank you very much for coming this evening. We hope you've learnt something fashionable.
Thank you all.